Hey, welcome back to Black Lab Garage. Believe it or not, I got lucky and found a set of 390 heads. So the 390 build is going to continue. So I want to show you how I freshen them up and some modifications that I'll make to them. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come on, let's get into it. Well, in case you're wondering what we're looking at, that is a 390 head. I happened to find another set of heads off a friend of mine. He had them in an old milk barn. Now you want to talk about rusty, because they've been sitting there for years. They was rusty. So I put them down in a big tote here full of vinegar and let them set overnight. Now let's take them down here and wash them and see what we got. Oh, getting the camera wet. It's hard to believe that's the same head, ain't it? Like I said, I just soaked it in regular old vinegar that you get at the grocery store for 24 hours. I think we can work with it. Main thing now is to get them dried off before they start rusting them back really fast. Alright, now we got the head clean, or heads clean I should say, because I cleaned both of them. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is something that is totally optional. You know, you can do it if you want to or not. But FEs have a bad problem of sending too much oil up to the head, so a lot of people restrict them. Although there's been FEs that's run 150,000 miles without having that done. But I prefer to keep the oil down around the crankshaft and stuff myself. Some people take a Holley carburetor jet and drop down into this hole right here, and it's the perfect size, but it fits in there loose. Now once the rocker arms are bolted down, that bolt's right here, so it can't come out. However, it can slide further down the hole, but you know, there's a head, it can't go anywhere. But me personally, it just irks me knowing that there's just a jet floating around in there loose. So what I do, get a 3/8 tap, tap the hole. Yeah, I'll blow it off with compressed air in a little bit, don't worry. I ain't going to just leave it like that. Now I get a 3/8 set screw, and I use a 1/16 drill bit for the size. Hang on, better change into second gear. Okay. There you can see it. Now you know what comes next. My old friend, old faithful, high temperature red Loctite. And just screw it in there. And just let it set up. Now our oil's restricted. So now let's move on to the valves. Now as you can see, the seats in these heads are actually in pretty decent shape. But just to be safe, we're going to go ahead and lap them. Let me show you how I lap them. Alright, I do it in two steps. Some people just use regular old Permatex valve grinding compound. I like to use Versachem. It comes in a 2-pack, coarse and fine. I like to start off with the coarse. But just put it around the face of the exhaust valve here. We'll do it first. Also, the Versachem is grease based where the Permatex is water based. And then get you some oil, or I'm just going to use assembly lube here. Put some on the stem of the valve. And try not to get it all over you. Now you can use one of those sticks with the suction cups and all that. I ain't got time for that. I use a drill. Turn this thing right here. And I don't pull against it real hard, but you can hear it cutting. But lift it every couple of seconds to let the valve grinding paste come back down. I don't go real fast, because if you're doing it by hand, you definitely ain't going to be going fast. Then I reverse it. I can't control it with my thumb. There we go. Then stop. Take the valve out. Be careful not to touch the valve grinding compound and get it on the stem, because you definitely don't want that up in the guides. And then wipe this compound off. And don't about drop the valve like I just about did. Now then, go back with some of the Permatex. Now, if you just want to use Permatex all the way, that's fine too. I mean, I just like doing it because it seems like starting off with the coarse and then going to this works better for me. And repeat the same process. Alright. Now let's wipe this one off. Now then, look at that. Looks like it rings of Saturn. Beautiful. And it's concentric all the way around. That's what we're after. Then wipe your seat off. Now we just got to do it for all the other valves. Of course, after this is done, you have to wash the head again. And then take air nozzle to it and blow it off, because this stuff, I seen it accidentally get left in a lawnmower engine one time. It absolutely destroyed that engine. Poor boy, he didn't, I guess he didn't know any better. So let's do the rest of the valves and I'll check back in with you here in a little bit. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is once you've lapped these in, they're specific to each chamber and seat, so nothing else right on them which cylinder they go to. That way when you take it apart to clean it, you'll still have the marks to know which one they went into. And if you really can't remember, write you a 2 on there too, or 3 or 4, whatever. Alright, now that we got the valve grinding compound cleaned off, I use brake cleaner and compressed air. Which I wiped all off. I wiped all of it off that I could with a towel, but then I used brake cleaner and compressed air. Got the rest of it. So now, loop the valve stems up again, because this is the last time they're going in. Alright, now something important, valve stem seals. Which these here are polyacrylic seals. Which, honestly, they're marginally better than the original nylon seals. They get hard and crack. The only difference is they don't seem to not crumble into as many pieces as the nylon ones do. But they get hard and brittle like the nylon ones. They just don't stop up your oil galleys and oil pump. Or have it in my experience anyway. And there's the 2-piece retainers, which I'm not particularly crazy about, but for a truck or something they're fine. Now if I was building like a 428 Cobra Jet or a 390 GT or Hypo or something, then I would change them out for the 1-piece retainers. But for a truck, we're not going to be turning it that hard, so they'll be fine. Now let's see, get this valve spring compressor on here. Get it adjusted a little bit, because I've used it since these heads. Now some people says it don't make a difference. I think it does on how you put the keepers on there. Oops, hit the camera there. I'll explain why here in a second. Let me zoom in here. Okay, see, some people turn where the, they'll have them this way and the slot will be right here. Well, when it's like that and the oil runs down the valve stem, if the slot's right here, it can run up here and still get to the valve stem and be sucked around, where this way it's got to run to either side, so the odds of it getting down around the valve stem is a whole lot less. That's why I do that. Some say it don't matter, but I mean, I think it does. I mean, you do you however you want to do it, but I'm just telling you that's why I turn to the side, because the oil has to run to the side. It can't just go straight down the valve stem. And just like that, we now have a finished 390 cylinder head ready to put on the engine. I did, somebody took a torch to get the bolts out of these two, so I went ahead and helicoiled them, which I'm pretty sure anybody on here knows how to put helicoils in. I mean, it's ready to go. The old stock valve springs, everything. So I guess the 390 is alive. Or, well, hopefully soon will be. So I appreciate you watching. And make sure and like, subscribe, because, I've got dog treats and stuff to buy and rugs where they tend to chew on them. But me and the pups really appreciate all of you. Got any questions? Be sure and comment or whatever. I always try to answer, as soon as I can. So stay tuned. I'll be back with another one. We'll be putting the heads on the 390, getting her together. See you.